So the Greens are going to give every parent $100,000. Let's have a look. Hello, everyone, and hello, Rachel. Thanks for joining me today. Now, I'm going to go through an article in another video, but I thought we would have a quick talk about it to get your perspective on this. Now, this is a Daily Mail article. Greens promise to pay Australian parents up to $100,000 if they have a baby by putting extra taxes on companies in the rich. Now, this seems like a brilliant policy. The Greens are right on the money. You know, finally leading Australia in the right direction. What do you reckon? We could pay off the house. We could buy a whole lot of shares.
We've got 6 kids.
So there's a little bit of bias there in seeing that. I mean, we'll scroll right down here to this article. What it is parental leave at $100,000 a year, Rachel.
Well, it's already at 18. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, so it's 18, well, around about, because it's paid out. There's 20 weeks of minimum wage that's paid out, and now you can choose whether I get all of it and you just keep working.
Well, that's the Liberals' proposal. I'll have a look here. The Greens want to shake up parental leave, giving parents 26 weeks off. The plan involves giving each parent 6 weeks off on a use-it-or-loses basis and another 14 weeks on top of that for a couple to share between them. The leave will be paid by taxpayers at the carer's wage up to $100,000 per year instead of the minimum wage.
It matches your income.
And you get super. Well,
wow.
It kind of matches your income but caps it at $100,000 a year. So, I mean...
It's very generous. It's kind of like property prices to the moon. Let's have a baby so we can buy a house.
They're talking about super, using your super to withdraw from your super to get a house deposit. What about just pump out a few sprogs to get a house? There you go, Rachel. You know what?
Everyone's going for twins.
Every 9 months, that's it. Every 9 months you pump out a kid. You could be pulling $100,000 a year in just by being a professional baby maker.
No, but it matches your income.
Well, what if
so you've got to work?
The income is just the parental leave then every year. That's your income now. You're just making babies for the Greens.
Oh, gee, aren't they the depopulation party?
Yeah, they are. They're meant to be. This just seems ludicrous, doesn't it? It just does. I mean, there's a few other policies here, and I haven't gone through this.
Maybe they've finally realised that the world is heading towards peak population in 30 years' time.
They don't think that far ahead. This is. I mean, honestly, this is just bullshit because it's the Greens. No one's going to take them seriously. The biggest problem is some people will fall for this stuff, and then it'll influence Labor. That's the biggest scare. So what do you reckon, Rachel? You think this is a good idea? Do you think $100,000?
It's a lot.
You're a professional mother.
I am a professional mother.
I mean, as a professional and a mother, not a professional. Well, 6 kids.
Well, look, here's the thing. Let's break it down. 26 weeks off. So for each, what is it? 26 weeks for each parent? Each parent gets 6 weeks off.
Yep.
Okay. Use it or lose it, and then 14 weeks top up. So, okay. So, one, I don't think you have never taken more than 2 weeks off when we've had a baby. Ever. But you do slow down.
I'm the man. It's my job, isn't it? To keep working.
So
if anything, you go more paranoid and start going, shit, I need to earn more money.
So with this, we would instantly lose 6 weeks of that because... Well, that's just the way you're wired. You're not going to take 6 weeks off to get paid maternity leave. You might take 2.
Oh, so this is worse than the coalition proposal, where it all just goes in a time bank and you give it all the way.
No, you have to take 6 weeks.
6 weeks. How can anyone take 6 weeks off if they're running a business?
Well, that's why you tell the government you're having 6 weeks off and you actually still work. But if you get dobbed in, you've got to return the money.
I think you're spiking a bit with your volume there. There we go. Keep talking.
So that's the first thing. And then 14 weeks that the couple can share between it. So as a mother, I would be getting the 20 weeks that the coalition is proposing. And for babies, I think it's important that they have time.
But $100,000?
$100,000's a lot. At the moment, like other countries around the world, the paid maternity leave is matched to the wage that you got the previous financial year. This is matching Europe to go to match what you earned in the previous financial year. So this would mean some families would be better off and some families would be worse off.
See, I would just... this is the problem.
At the moment, it's very fair because minimum wage.
This is putting this burden onto the taxpayer. I would rather... You know what I'd rather? We get rid of all of this stuff. We even get rid of family tax benefit. Just ditch all of that. And we, as a family, get a credit for $20,000 each year off our taxes for every kid we're homeschooling. Yeah, that'd be. And
well, the schools get that, don't
yeah,
they?
exactly. And we just bank it up. So this year, we got 2 kids. That's $40,000, and we just get a credit for that. And then the year after that, it's $60,000.
But that's the
every
thing.
year.
It's called family tax benefit, but it's welfare. It's not a tax benefit at all because of the way that it's capped.
You didn't understand how a single mother with 4 kids could be living without working until you realised how much they get on these things.
Well, when I first looked at it with Mina, it was like, oh, what's the point? There's no way we're eligible. And then I forgot about it. And then we had 4 kids. And I looked at it again, I'm like, oh, wait a second. This is per child. This is actually worth applying for. But when you do get it, it starts being capped at $50,000 and you lose 20 cents in the dollar. And then it gets siphoned again at $99,000 or $100K, and then you get 30 cents in the dollar taken off. So when you combine that with the tax brackets, you're falling off this cliff. Once you earn $100,000, it's not actually worth earning any money until you earn over like $140,000.
It is a welfare payment.
It
disappears really quick once you're above $100,000.
It's just boom. So if it's a tax benefit, how much? And that's family income. That's how many families are on less than $100K with a ton of kids.
Well, hey, hang on, wait. I can show you a chart.
Because once you combine that with tax rates, it really does disincentivize work.
Here you've got the different household incomes. So the people on the $430 disposable income, they'd be the ones there with
the full amount.
With the full amount, and the further up it goes, the worse it gets.
The top band wouldn't get any.
No, they wouldn't. So it is just the current system. It's welfare rather than an actual
tax benefit. So there's no real tax benefit to having children.
And children don't cost this much. I mean, that's a joke. If here's the thing, if you as an individual decide...
No, they don't want women completely leaving the workforce going, you know what, I love being a mum, screw it, I'm not going back. Off to work you go. Off to work you go.
That's the reality, isn't it?
And it's the feminists going, we're going to tie you to your job with paid maternity leave, so if you quit your job, it's going to hurt your family financially. Get back to work. You've had your 6 months off.
It's a trap, isn't it?
It's a trap.
Put your kid in childcare, indoctrinate them in all the garbage they have there.
Your kids, they need their mums. They need their parents.
Edward's down. I put him on a chair and he's clapping and talking. What do you think, Eddie?
So once again, this isn't for every child born. This is only for working families, and it's only for working families on decent money.
So it's just, again, it's going to be more welfare, essentially, for those that don't need it.
Yeah.
If your wife's pulling in $100,000 a year, you should be able to save up enough money and prepare to have a kid. That's what it should be.
But there's going to be so much more pressure on her to only take 6 weeks off and get back in the workforce, because if she's the primary breadwinner, this is going to encourage her to actually bond with her children.
What do you think, Edward? You want $100,000? Yes, Daddy, give you $100,000. There we go. Well, thank you, Rachel. Here, I'll give you a kid.
Okay.
It's heavy. Thank you, Rachel, for joining me on this episode of HeiseSays. I'll go through this article to look at all the brilliant green policies a bit later. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you're a fan of the channel, I'll do the outro.
Okay.
There's a few ways you can help us out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, or use any of our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. And I will see you all in the next episode. $100,000 though.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Let's have a baby.
Buy shares.
We can
just
buy a house.
shares. Just take the $100,000, put it in Combank shares.
No,
and
but
forget
you've got to
about
actually save it and not spend it on living expenses.
That's fine. You don't need to spend $100,000 on a kid. You kidding? Just don't spoil them.
All right.